Pick up this place here a little bit. It's heavy, man. Come on, bro. Thanks, all right. I'm not gonna get a copyright notice, but it's okay. I haven't heard the song in a long time. I just found the tape. Billions of dollars, billions of dollars. Billions and billions of dollars. ABC. All right. There you go. Tape deck is working well. I got both channels lighting up now. I made a video on that the other day. It was only displaying one channel, and I did the head ordered the head cleaner, and I did the job. Both channels. Now you can see both channels lit up, and it sounds better now. I get full stereo. So this is another. I found all these tapes in the trash a few years ago. So this is ABC. How to be a zillionaire. Yeah, I'm trying to uplift myself tonight because I am very upset today. These people they're evil. There's no other way of saying it. I told my wife months ago. I told her, pray for this man because they're gonna stop at nothing for that man not to make it in November. I was on a live stream a couple of hours ago. The satellite guy. And I heard this, and I'm like, what? And of course, one of the idiots in there actually said, Orange Man bad was shot. And he's like, first of all, it's not funny when a person, like these people they have no soul. They have no, like we're a third world nation now. We are. I don't want to get into the whole thing now because thank God he's okay. Thank God he's okay. Exactly. You don't have to like them. But the problem is that listen, I grew up as a Democrat. My mother always told, oh, vote Democrat. I'm a kid from the Bronx, Puerto Rican, everybody votes freaking Democrat. And I remember when Reagan went to the South Bronx and he made that speech. And I started thinking, I said, all these years, they haven't done nothing for us. And that's when I started thinking. And at that time, I was only a kid. I was in junior high school. And because, I remember the hostages. I remember wearing the button. I went to my sixth grade class with the button that says, Iran sucks. I don't know if you remember that, but I remember going to 42nd Street and Times Square, and they used to sell those buttons. Iran sucks. Fuck Iran. And I went into the classroom when the teacher took it. And I know why. Of course, it's public school. Not supposed to have that. But she was definitely way out there lefty. Looking back at her, yeah, she was a whack job. The teacher, my sixth grade teacher. And I had in the fourth grade, fifth grade, and sixth grade. And she saw that button. And I remember because, of course, that was under Carter's watch. And we're going to talk about whatever here. I don't care. If people don't like it, they can leave. I don't care. My channel, my rules, I don't care. And I remember how much of a weak president Carter was. He was very weak. And, as soon as Reagan and Reagan won by landslide. I remember that election. I remember. Because of one-term president, Jimmy Carter, weak ass president, and As soon as Reagan was sworn in, they let them go because Reagan was going to bomb the shit out of them. Ronald Reagan was going to bomb the shit out of them. He wasn't going to play that. He's a, remember, he's an actor. He played a cowboy and all that. So he was gonna do that. No, he was gonna, and then right there, as soon as he got sworn in, and they released him. I said, there you go. And of course, he was a two-term president. Of course, he's the man that basically ended the Cold War with that famous speech at the Berlin Wall. When he told Mr. Gorbachev to tear down this wall. I remember all that. I mean, that was a true leader. And of course I grew up, around that, of course that was my decade, the 80s. Then of course I remember, we had issues with Libya, because Libya was sponsoring, the all this, the Lockerbie, Scotland, the bombing. And of course we bombed the shit out of Gaddafi. I remember that. The so-called line of death. You cross this line, and of course we went in there with F-111 and F-14. We bombed the shit out of them. We took care of business. Unlike this fucking buffoon that's in the White House now. Okay? We took care of business. Okay? And of course he took a bullet. Ronald Reagan took a bullet. I remember watching that. John Hinckley, is it John Hinckley Jr.? I don't know. John Hinckley. I know it's John Hinckley. He was a crazy fucker, infatuated with Jodie Foster, and he took a shot at Reagan. And I was like, and I told my wife, I said, listen, history's gonna repeat itself because there's too much language when they calling this man a threat to democracy, and in other words, we're dangerous. MAGA Republicans are all dangerous. You know what? You're calling me dangerous. You're telling me that I'm dangerous. That's what they say. And that kind of language is what resulted in this today. Is their fucking language. The result of their language did this. Because of course they're trying to lock them up. 37 fucking felony convictions, whatever. And this was gonna happen. I said it. I told my wife over and over, pray for that man. Pray for that man because they're gonna try to put a bullet in him. They're gonna try to put a bullet in him before November. And look, I predicted it. I predicted it. And that bullet, let me tell you something. My wife brought up a good point. My wife said, because Trump, when he's on the podium, he's very animated. If he would have been standing still reading a teleprompter at the way he was facing the camera, he probably would have got it right here in the temple. He would have got it right in the temple. But at that moment, he was looking toward that side of the crowd. God was watching over him. God was watching over him, and it grazed him. I mean, it supposedly ripped the upper. He grazed up here, and I'm telling you because I got shot at, and I know that sound when a bullet whizzes by you. I know that sound. It's a eerie sound. I have bullets whiz by me. I'm not making that shit up. But when he said that, I said, yeah. So that means he was, yeah, and it got him. And the guy let off 5 of them from a rooftop. I seen all over X. Okay, you're out of here. Don't fucking come in here. Do not come in here now. I told you, stay the fuck away from my channel. Today's not the fucking night to do this shit. Stay the fuck away from my channel. I told you already. I'm done with you. I'm waiting for this fucking shit to go away. And I'm going to fucking ban you again, you fucking jerk off. Fuck off. That's what I'm going to write. Fuck off so I can get you one more line. Now you're gone. And I'm only going to open this shit for the public today because you know what? If anybody want to talk about it, talk about it. Now stay the fuck off my channel. Not having this shit tonight. I don't know what your malfunction is, but stay the fuck off my channel. And don't come here no more. You're not fucking welcome here. You're not wanted here. You're not fucking welcome here. I cannot make it any more clear than that. I cannot make it more clear than that. I'm sorry. This fucking kid he's just fucking annoying. Hello, K6SUD. I'm sorry. Yeah, I remember that Ronnie was the man. Yeah, I'm telling you, Ronald Reagan. And you know, this is the problem with fucking liberals. They just, you know, either, you know what I'm saying? Like, I voted for Obama. I voted for him. Okay, I voted for him twice. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. The first time is because I was sick of you know, of this fucking you know, I wanted to get out of Iraq already in Afghanistan. I understand why we went in there. We had to go in there. We had to bring out a big stick after 9/11. At least, you know, especially Afghanistan. You know, and of course, you know, all that shit later on, they never found anything in there, whatever. Fine. I just wanted to get the fuck out of there. That's why, because there was no alternative. But I was already done with the fucking liberals. And then 8 years of him, all he did was fucking divide this country. So I was not going to vote for that fucking witch. I was not going to vote for her. So I voted for Trump. I said, no, I'm not. I cannot have this woman in the White House. I cannot have this clean woman in the White House. There's no fucking way it's going to happen. And thank God it didn't happen. Thank God. You know? So what happened today? I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised, people. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because I kept saying it. I said, pray for this man because they're throwing everything. They're desperate. They're desperate right now. They're melting down. And didn't the AOC the other day impeach Supreme Court judges? Are you fucking nuts? They're having meltdowns right now. This guy with the big boy conference a couple of days ago, you know, like, they're free fall. You know, I was going to talk. This kid, listen, can I make it clear? Do not come here no more. You don't want to hear. You don't want to hear no more. Just stay the fuck away from my channel. Go jerk off somewhere else. Stay the fuck off my channel already. You're not welcome here. Seriously. Exactly, Michael. You don't have to like him. I grew up in New York City. I know what kind of person he is. You know, he's a playboy. You know, listen. Newsflash: a lot of us were playboys. I was a playboy when I was young. I was a playboy when I was young. I was a fucking yeah. I was a gentleman. Then I got fucking screwed over. Then I became the fucking screwing over for a while. You know, and that was on me. You know, we all had our growing issues. Nobody's perfect, people. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. You know? Jimmy Swagger wasn't perfect. I remember Jimmy Swagger. All this, you know, come on, people. And they act like their side is perfect. No, it's not. You know, we could agree to disagree. That's the whole thing about it. But when you start like talking about, oh, we're a threat to democracy. We're a threat. That means in other words, you want to kill us. You want us, you know, you want to lock us up. You want to kill us. That's like, you know, third world country talk. And this is the result of it. This is the result of it. That fucking language that they keep throwing out there. That fucking language with a threat to democracy and all this shit. You know, and these people, they just fucking, they brainwash. They're brainwashed. And he still comes with another count. Like this guy's unhinged. Did you not just hear what I just said? Yeah, go ahead, troll. Go ahead. There you go. Let it out. Let it out. Go ahead, let it out. Hi, dummy, you. Let it out. You got what else you got? Yeah, I'm gonna let you scroll. I'm gonna let you scroll. Then go ahead, let it out. Let it out because I know you waited all these live streams, that I had subscribers only. You waited for this one. So you're the loser because you camping out on my page, bro. When I look at my views, yeah, it's okay. But yeah, camping out on my page with all these fucking views. This guy is. I'm a dummy. Okay, you really hurt my feelings. Is it? Not everybody can be part of this club. Not everybody can be a part of this club, bro. Let me turn on this fan. I got the AC on anyway. I don't know if I'm clipping my audio. And it's coming. We're gonna have a classic one tonight. We're gonna have a classic one tonight. He's gonna bring out all his accounts tonight. He's gonna bring them all out tonight. So yeah, and I mean you could time him out, but I still gotta ban him anyway. It's okay, he's all these accounts he had to create the account. So he just right now all these accounts he's just adding to the ban list. That's all it is. So of course he's gonna scramble and make another account. He's gonna scramble, Yeah, but you know what? What am I gonna do? Just look at him and click? No. Yeah. Do I fuck with him? Yeah, I fuck with him. I like to fucking annoy him too, because he's a jerk off. He's a loser fucking jerk off kid. So of course, I guess he gets his jollies off, which is kind of creepy. Think about it. It's already creepy that he comes here after he's been banned so many accounts. Why would you do that? Like, if I were to be banned somewhere, I would be ashamed to go there. No, I wanted to open it up today because I want the trolls to come in here today. Because I know there's going to be trolls in here. Fuck you. Fuck you. And I'm not always going to leave it for subs only. I'm going to open it up too. Yeah. And it's been no Twister 344. Yeah, he's just a lonely soul lost in his world. Yeah, of course. Like I said last time, yeah, he's probably mommy and daddy probably, he shits on a piece of paper, splatters it on the wall, and they call it Picasso. Yeah, so all this rhetoric is this. I'm not surprised this happened. I'm not shocked, bro. Because I kept saying that. I said, honey, you gotta pray for this man because they're gonna throw everything at him. They're throwing everything at him, and the only thing left to do is somebody's gonna try to put a bullet in it, and that's it. I'm telling you, that's not PG. No, can I edit it right now and put that out? But I don't want to do that because I wanted to open it up so people come in, and talk about whatever we want to talk about. Because Tomorrow I get ready, and then Monday we're off to I'm off to vacation for a week. So I was gonna come out tomorrow, but since this thing was going on, this thing happened today. Because I was at a live stream. I was at Ronnie Strikes live streaming, and I heard that. I'm like, and then the guy, I like Robbie Strike is a good guy. I love him. I love his channel. I think, but I don't like I don't like that whole calling in thing, because there's that one guy. He's always talking loud, and I guess they have the Discord thing that they can now talk. See, I would not do that here because it's annoying. Because everybody mic is different, and I don't got time for that. I don't got time to tell people to lower their mic. And this guy's always hogging up the live stream. And then he's the one that said it, that Robbie didn't know. So he said, "Oh, Rubbish Man bad guy shot." And I'm like, first of all, why you say it like that? Like, you don't have to like the guy. I don't give a shit if you don't like the guy. Because like I was saying before this jerk off came in here, I know this guy's he was a playboy and all that. I get all that. You know what? But when he ran in 2016, and he said a bunch of good things that I like, including the wall. He said, "Yeah, you should build a fucking wall. A lot of countries have a fucking wall. We shouldn't let everybody in here without vetting them. I'm sorry. And it's not sustainable. You cannot let everybody come in here and get freeload. I'm sorry. You cannot do that. It's not sustainable. We're not a socialist country. We cannot, we shouldn't have to, I shouldn't give half of my check to support, to support other people. I'm sorry, unless they're citizens or, of course, homeless, veterans and things like that. Not every freaking country that comes in, they want to dump all that undesirable on us. No. So he said all the right things, He did say all the right things. But of course, these, liberals, they all, think with their feelings instead of having a logical brain. They're too much with their feelings. This heart thing is like annoying. I wish I could remove this heart thing. And I'll wait for one more line, and then that's all. That's all. Yeah, it's not PG. I'm telling you. It's just exactly. I follow both. I follow, and like I said, I grew up voting Democrat. Next, exactly, same here. I grew up voting Democrat. I voted for the last Democrat was Obama that I voted for, and I voted for him because I wanted, I was tired of the Bush, Clinton whole thing, and I was tired of that. I said, I want somebody new, so I gave him a chance. I gave him a chance. He wasn't horrible. Especially the economy. That's another thing. That's another thing I look for personally. I look at the stock market. I look at the overall economy. The economy was doing well, so hey, do I agree with everything that he does? No, I don't. Because I didn't like Romney. I don't like Romney. So I didn't want to vote for Romney. And then, of course, they brought another disaster. I'm sorry, McCain, another disaster. McCain is basically another Biden. Although he was, yeah, I get it. He was captured. I get all that. I know the history of that. That he was captured. He was in the Hanoi Hilton. I get all that. But as a president, I didn't want him as a president. And that's what they threw out there. I said, nah, I can't vote for this guy. I just couldn't. See, I don't care which party. I got to the point where, I'm not even registered. I'm not registered as an independent. I switched over to I went from Democrat to Republican. I switched over to, now on my registration, I'm a Republican. I'm, registered Republican now. But don't get me wrong, though. I would have voted for Democrat if any of them have common sense. And the front, there's so much all the way to the other side, to the left. They're fucking nuts now. They're all crazy. They're all crazy. And that's why I don't think I could ever vote for another Democrat again, because they just went too crazy. It's not a party thing. For me personally, it's an economy thing. It's a border security thing. It's a foreign policy thing. People don't respect our country now. We're the laughing stock of the world. Peace through strength. That was Ronald Reagan. Yeah, did we outspend them? Yeah, we did. We did. And we had to. We had to. And that's why we won the Cold War. And now they're trying to flex. And they're not as strong as they once was. They're not strong now. Russia, there's not the same Russia. I can tell you that. They're never gonna win that war with Ukraine. They're never gonna win that war. At some point, they're gonna have to withdraw. Hopefully, it won't be in 10 years. Right now it's 2 years in, right? 2 years. How long is it? 2 years? 2 years in war in Ukraine right now, right? Hopefully, it won't be 10 years. Hopefully, it won't be like another Afghanistan when they invaded Afghanistan in 1980. That was their Vietnam War. They lost a lot of lives there. So they're gonna go through that. They're going through that again. They thought they were gonna go into Ukraine and just take over. And sorry, didn't work. And of course you got all these NATO countries giving them weapons. They're never gonna win that war. So it's a meat grinder. It's just a matter of sit down at the negotiating table and work something out and get the hell out. But of course Zelensky doesn't want to give up. He wants all of Ukraine returned, and Putin said no. And that's why anyways, yeah, James Father, I totally agree. Thank you. Like I said, I vote. I always voted for the economy, common sense, all this radical stuff that they try to throw at I don't want that. My son is going to be 10 years old. I'm voting for his future. And what's in my pocket, exactly. I vote common sense. What's in my pocket? I don't vote with my feelings. Or I voted for Clinton. And then when the Monica Lewinsky thing happened, I was one of the ones that said, listen, she's an adult. She knew what the fuck she was doing. She's not a fucking Bambi deer in the headlights, coming out of the woods. I'm sorry. She's a fucking adult. She knew what she was doing. Okay? She just got way over her head. That's all. And eventually she got caught. That's what happened. That's the way I saw it. I didn't give a shit. The economy was roaring at that time. Okay? Stock market was doing very well. I looked at my portfolio. I said, it's doing very well. Don't care about Monica Lewinsky. I didn't give a shit about it. But people, of course, the other side made it into a moral issue. And they try to impeach him. You know? It's hypocritical on both sides. So, and he had a track record already. Bill Clinton had a track record. Because remember, it was Paula Jones. That was later on. Before that was Jennifer Flowers. Okay? And I was like, hey, the man's a player. He's a player. That's it, He's a player. He's a player. Yeah, anyway, Michael, just for tonight, I'll leave it open. He's going to create a couple of more accounts and come here. I'm just going to keep clicking. I already said what I said to him. That's it. Now he can waste his time bringing more accounts, whatever. Exactly. Kennedy was a player too. There you go. Exactly. Exactly, James Farley. More power to him. Exactly. I was like, okay, well, and she's an attractive woman, and she still looks good for her age. She still looks very good. She still looks good. I said, wow, she aged very well. Dwayne Trivet, Danny, how close you are to the hotel that has all the illegals from South America? Well, first of all, there is a lot of hotels. It's not one hotel. New York City has many places they're in. I live in Yonkers, so I'm outside New York City. Here in Yonkers, we do have. I think down there. It's actually about a couple of miles away. There is a hotel down there. I think there's about 100 of them there. But I noticed in a couple of these houses over here, there a couple of them. There's a couple of them, but I'm not in New York City, and thank God for that. 'Cause I'm in Yonkers. I'm right outside New York City. So I'm in what they call the suburbs, right outside New York City. Although it's not really suburban here, but I'm right outside New York City, out of the city limits. So, but in New York City though, I just heard it the other day on the radio. Out of the 5 boroughs, I think Queens has the most migrants housed in shelters. I think out of 100 and I forgot how many hotels, 78 of them I think are in Queens or something. I forgot the number off the top of my head. I don't remember the number. So a lot of them are in Queens, and then Manhattan has a few of them, and then Brooklyn has a few of them, and then the Bronx has a few, and then Staten Island is the one. Staten Island, out of all the boroughs, Staten Island is the one that put up the most resistance. There is a couple of them in Staten Island, a couple of places where they're staying in, but Staten Island is the one that put up the most resistance. Now they don't want them there, because Staten Island is like, I passed through there, but out of all the boroughs, Staten Island is the one with the most. I guess I shouldn't say that because every area has a nice area. Like the Bronx, there's nice areas in the Bronx. Not every, same thing in Yonkers. It's nice. This area is okay, but if you go up here, it's more affluent. The houses are more expensive up there. If you go further up, of course, Westchester County is a lot more expensive. So it's not whether they're going to lose bad or not. It's just that. Here we go. I don't know why you had to post that, but here you go. Yeah, Kennedy was a player too. James Farley Clinton was on the phone in the Oval, and she was. Yeah, I know. she was giving him a hand. Whatever. I don't know to get graphic because. Stephanie, Ukraine's going to lose bad. Russia has. It's not. That's not the point where You gotta understand something, Stephen. And they don't have the best army in the world. That's just, that's a stupid statement. I'm sorry. What you just said was stupid. Sorry, I'm gonna put it no other way. It is a stupid statement. Okay, it's not about being the best army. It's not about that. The United States found that out the hard way in Vietnam. Your enemy does not have to be the most sophisticated army in the world to put up a fight. To put up a fight, that is a stupid statement. Okay? It's a real stupid statement on your part. I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. Okay, Vietnam War proved that. Guerrilla warfare proved that. Okay, when you're fighting in, like for example, the Vietnam War, when the United States went in the jungle, Vietnam, and they got all the booby trap and all that, they found out that this enemy was not going to capitulate. They were not going to give up. This is not what this is not World War II where you know your enemy. World War II was you knew your enemy. World War II was when we went into Europe, we knew the enemy. It was German soldiers, Nazi Germany. You know what I'm saying? We knew our enemy. For a couple of years, it was Italian soldiers too, of course. We invaded Italy. And then they surrendered. And then they joined, they surrendered. Same thing in the war in the Pacific. We knew the enemy. It was Japanese soldiers. That's it. We knew the enemy. That's not the case today. Okay, that's not the case today. That's not the case today. Okay, it's a different time. First of all, now you have all this social media, you have all this internet, you have all this information. Okay, and I guarantee you, nobody wants to fight a war that is not worth fighting for. Okay, that's the first thing you have to learn. I guarantee you, if somebody tells those in Russia, okay, you can go home tomorrow, I bet you they will all drop their weapons and go home. Because at one time, they were allies. When there was a Soviet Union, Ukraine was a part of the Soviet Union. So there's brothers and sisters in there. What are you talking about? So they're fighting among brothers and sisters. Okay? And of course, the Cold War, we won the Cold War because you gotta understand the economic model didn't work. It didn't work. They were spending so much money on let's build another rocket. Let's build another fake space shuttle to compete with the Americans. Wow, you have fucking bread lines in Russia. What the fuck are you talking about? You have bread lines in Russia in the 80s. And all the government was doing is they're trying to spend money. And they're fighting this endless war in Afghanistan. And they're losing soldiers left and right. To who? A bunch of, Afghan rebels? Don't tell me you're the fucking best army in the world. That's fucking stupid. It's fucking stupid saying that. So Ukraine's not going to lose back because they're already, it's 2 years in. You haven't even invaded the capital. You try to invade the capital and you still can't get the job done. This is going to drag out, and they're losing. Russians are losing people by the minute. Same thing with Ukraine. They use it, but Ukraine has to fight because that's their country. They have to fight. That's a stupid statement. Russia has the best army. No, they don't. Not about being the best army. Okay, same thing happening with the United States. Are the United States more technological advanced army? Yeah, we do. But it takes more than machinery to fight a war. If there's no morale, there's no motivation, there's no cause. Who the hell wants to fight a war they're not going to be able to win? They're not going to win that war. Because every day they're getting more and more support. It started with a few weapons, a few defensive missiles and all that. Now they're getting F-16s. Now they're getting whatever. They're getting all this stuff. Now they're getting more weaponry. Russia doesn't have a choice. They're not going to have a choice. They're going to have to withdraw. They're going to have to withdraw at some point because they're going to bankrupt their own country. They had to go to North Korea to get some rockets or missiles to supply them. They're going to China to get Chinese weapons now. So what the fuck are you talking about that they have the best army in the world? Is that some kind of fucking sick joke? Are you fucking kidding me with that statement? So Ukraine's not going to lose bad. Yeah, are they losing a lot on both sides? Yeah, they are, because it's going to be an endless war. There's not going to be Russia's not going to invade. It's not going to be total victory for Russia. That's my point. Okay, the same thing that happened when we went into Vietnam because of the spread of communism. We had no business going there. We should have never went in there in the first place. Okay, because of course at that time was all the spread of communism. We don't want communism to spread the whole all of Asia and all that. And look how it turned out. As soon as we left South Vietnam, North Vietnamese went in and took up the whole. They took up the whole country, gobbled it up. Same thing with South Korea. We're in South Korea right now. If we were to leave South Korea tomorrow morning, North Korea will come in and take the rest of the fucking peninsula. Okay? The problem is that Ukraine wants to join. Well, they're part of I think they're officially the European Union or not yet. Of course, the issue with that is NATO. If they become a part of NATO, it's over for Russia, because then we have to defend them. And they're not. They are going to be part of NATO at some point in the future. So the minute they become a part of NATO, it's over. It's over. They're gonna have to. They better leave, because you got 32 countries or whatever the fuck beat the shit out of them, and Russia is in no position right now to put up a fight. Trust me, they're hanging by a thread right now. Now these people coming here, oh, Russia has a good army. I seen those videos of the fucking Tu-95 fucking bear bomber, fucking propeller. Who flies a propeller plane in 2024? That's your best bomber? Are you fucking kidding me? That's your fucking answer? That's your comeback? Tupolev, Tu-95 bear. I know my fucking aircraft. I know my weaponry. We can count on that with a B-52. And that shit's been around for 50 fucking years, under many, many renovations. And it still blow away that fucking piece of shit bear bomber. What the fuck are you talking about? Get the fuck out of here. You fucking nuts, bro. You nuts. I beg to differ. The Russians have a better army than ours. No, they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't. That's fucking nuts. Industrial superior to us, like, what are you fucking what are you, Soviet or something? Fuck out of here. Fucking crazy. You're talking crazy now. You're 2 years in finding us a country like Ukraine. Ukraine is like the size of New Jersey, I think. Last time how big Ukraine is? Or maybe the size of Texas. I don't know. You can't even fucking take over Ukraine. Y'all been trying for 10 years. Even under Obama, they took Crimea, a little fucking island, Crimea. And then, okay, we mighty Russian guy. Ooh, big bear guy. Big Russian bear. And then they went into, the only reason why they went in because Biden didn't do anything. You know, that's all. If it would have been Trump would have said, listen, if you cross that line, I'm going to give them everything they fucking want. Including, fucking F-35, whatever the fuck, latest and greatest, and you're gonna be stuck in the mud there for 20 fucking years. You have no idea what you have no idea what you're talking about when it comes to military shit. You have no fucking idea. It's not about numbers. It's not about numbers, bro. It's not about, look at China, the paper tiger. Paper tiger. That's a paper tiger. The economy is so fucking fragile. You know, do you watch all these documentaries about China? They have empty cities. They have cities that they build skyscrapers and nobody's living in them. What the fuck are you talking about? You don't even have a fucking. I can get into the whole thing about that. Russia not trying to take land. No, they are trying to take. They're trying to take over Ukraine because Ukraine was about to join NATO. That's what happened. Ukraine was about because Ukraine want to be a free elected a country with free elections and all that shit. Although, don't get me wrong, Ukraine is a very corrupt fucking country too. I'm not letting them off the hook. I'm not letting them off the hook. But I'm saying if the army's so fucking great, they could have finished the job. You know, like the coalition did when we went into Iraq. The coalition, you're not gonna win that war. You're not gonna win that war. Like I said, you can pom all you want. You're not gonna win that war with Ukraine. You're not gonna win that war. At some point you're gonna have to withdraw. You might have to give up some of that land that you guys took over, but you're not gonna totally invade. You're not gonna totally invade Ukraine and call it yours. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. So you smoking something, bro. You smoking something. They're not gonna win the war. Trust me. Yeah. By the way, F-16s are they're not our top fighter craft, but they still use them all around the world. A lot of air forces still use them. Just like Russia still flies that MiG-25 and the MiG-20, even the MiG-21 is still in some countries. Okay. All right, I'm done with you. I'm done with you when it comes to Russia. And you can say all you want, Russia has a better army. Well, we're gonna see because they're gonna get more money now, and you guys have not made any progress. You guys are never gonna take over the whole country. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. 3 people watching, 10 likes. Thank you for watching. 47 minutes into the books. And yeah, they don't have a better army than ours. Are you fucking kidding me? That's a stupid statement. I'm sorry. First of all, we don't have a draft no more. And you know why we got rid of the draft? You know why? Because it was bad for. I understand there was a time when we needed every able body, but I could get into the whole thing about that. That maybe they should pay them more money. They should make more money when you go serve in the military. I believe that. I think they should get paid. I believe they should get top pay. Anytime you're gonna go out there and you potential to risk your life, you should get top pay. You shouldn't be. I know people. Because I was in the Air Force. I'm telling you, I know people that want food stamps. They were in the military. They had to get on food stamps. Okay, the pay ain't good. The pay is not good. I'll tell you something. The pay is not good. But there is no more draft, and thank God for that because, that's the problem that you guys are having. Conscripts, whatever. Basically, you're drafting them. Well, it's not up to Russia. Right now, Finland already joined. Finland joined. I think was Denmark or Sweden. Sweden's already been there. In Denmark. So Finland and Denmark. I know Finland already is official. They already joined. You know why they joined? It already backfired on them. It already backfired on them. By they invading Ukraine, Finland already joined. Finland was a neutral country, and they bordered with Russia, and they joined NATO now. So what they're going to do? Invade Finland now too? You see what I'm saying? Your argument makes no sense. I understand you admire Russian military, and that's fine. You can admire it. I listen. I don't say I hate Russian equipment, but they're not, to me, they're not the best. They if anything, they copy a lot of our stuff. They copy a lot of our stuff. I mean, anybody can tell you. Even the Chinese copy a lot of stuff. They had that failure of a space shuttle, the Buran, the Buran. That shit only went to space once, and then what happened? The Soviet Union collapsed on itself, and it never flew again. Now it's rotting in some building. Come on, bro. Don't tell me about Russian military might. That's fucking nuts. And Mainichi, I don't know, Mainichi, I don't know how you pronounce that. And welcome to the live stream. Hello, Darren Rose. Yeah, good night, Dwayne, yeah. Yeah. I'm not wrong about Russia. Trust me, I'm not wrong about them. First of all, you have a leader that's been there for 20 fucking years already, whatever it is, with no opposition. Anybody trying to run against them, they die. That's the government you want to live with? You know? Anyway, people like, you know, do I agree with everything this country does? No, but you know, do I think today's military is woke? Yeah, it is woke. It is woke, but I cannot say, oh well, Chinese armies are a better army than no, it's just different. It's just different. You know, you gotta understand. You live in a country like that, like in Israel. In Israel, for example, Russia is now the fourth largest economy according to the World Bank. Why? You know, you know whose fault is that? The who we have in the White House now. That's the fault. That's their fault. We're producing oil. We were like top exporter and all that. The problem is over here. We have, you know, every 4 years we get to elect a new president, and that's, you know, there's gonna be some issues with that, and that's fine. I'd rather go with that than have a 28-year. I don't know what year this guy's in now. 28 years or whatever it is. If you like Russia, why don't you live in Russia then? If you love Russia so much, go live in Russia. You know, there's people like the Gaza people. The Gaza people, oh, free Palestine. If you're so adamant about the country, go live in that country then. Go move to that country. Talk is cheap. Go move to that country then. You know? Yeah, I worked in aerospace too, bro. A lot of countries still fly the F-16. A lot of countries, including Israel. Israel flies F-16s. Just like a lot of companies still fly, a lot of countries fly the MiG-21. Like India. Well, India has modern fighters. They have, but there's other countries like I think was it Syria? Even Syria. I think Syria. They have. Is it MiG-30? Yeah, come on. They're not gonna win. They're not gonna win. It's never gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. They're not gonna win. You can put all you want. Russia's gonna win. They're not gonna win. And I don't know why would you want Russia to win. I don't understand that. Why would you want Russia to win? Because you know what's gonna happen. And this is the thinking about this. If you let Russia take over Ukraine, what's gonna stop it from going into Poland? You see what I'm saying? What's the logic in that? Because Poland is NATO. Poland is a NATO country now. So if you let Russia, oh, we don't do nothing about Ukraine. Let Russia take Ukraine. So what's next? Turkey or Poland or Romania? You see what I'm saying? It's a domino thing. It's a domino effect thing. That's why Finland was a neutral country. Okay, until what happened? Until Russia went into Ukraine, and then Finland ran to NATO and said, "You know what? We want to be a part of NATO. We're done. We're done with this. We want to be a part of NATO." You know, you don't get it. You just don't get it. You don't get the whole. You don't get the whole thing about it. You know. And I know because the Cold War ended. And the Cold War ended years ago. I don't trust Russia. I don't trust Russia. We don't trust Russia, just like we don't trust China. You know? And well, exactly. Well, they're micro countries, they're tiny armies, but they were neutral. And they finally said, you know what? Uh, we're gonna join NATO. We're not gonna take that chance. So, you know, NATO's motto is attack on one, you attack on all. So if I want to see Russia try to go into Finland now. Good luck on that, and see what'll happen. Like, you don't understand the whole geopolitical thing. You don't understand the whole ramifications of you know. And the nuke thing, that's another thing. Yeah, they can use their nukes, but the minute they use their nukes, they're gonna get nuked too. So it's you know, no win war. Same thing with China. Yeah, can Russia go? They're not the most powerful army in the world. They're not. So just stop putting that, please. They're not the most powerful army in the world. I would rank China ahead of them. Exactly. They're not the most powerful in the world. That's bullshit. That's fucking stupid. I'm sorry. That's just dumb. I'm sorry. I'm not even gonna say, oh, you disagree with you, because you know right now, as an airman, and my family served in the military many generations. You know, come on, bro. You don't come in here with that shit. Stupid. You know, you're not gonna get me to fucking never agree to that shit. And exactly. That's my point. They struggling to even hold what they have in Ukraine. They struggling. That's my point. That's my whole point about this thing. And they're so powerful. Just go in there and take it. Go ahead, go take it. Go back. Try to take Kiev again. Go in there and take it. Go. Come on, man. No, they're not. They're not. They're not. They're not. It's not even a numbers thing. And you know what? And what Russia did right now is they set back the country decades with all the you know, they had an arsenal. They set themselves back with, you know, morale. You know what morale does? We just got out of 20+ year war with Afghanistan. You know what that does to morale? Even tomorrow morning, I wouldn't want to go back sign up because of the leadership. You know, because of the leadership right now. You know, who wants to fight a war that they have no business being in there, and they're not going to win. They're not going to win this war. They're not going to win it. It's not going to be you know, unconditional surrender, and Zelensky's going to leave. Okay, you can have Ukraine and unconditional surrender. That's never going to happen. That's never going to happen. It hasn't happened in 2 years. It hasn't happened in 2 years. So when I don't understand that logic. How can they be the greatest army in the world when they can't even beat Ukraine? And you know, like when the coalition went into Iraq and we took care of Saddam. You know what I mean? You didn't do that. You haven't done that. You didn't go into Kyiv and took Zelensky out. And okay, let's put our flag here. Bing, that's it. That hasn't happened in 2 years. That hasn't happened in 2 years. And if you read all these stories, you hear all these stories about Russian troops. They go into people's houses and take their food, take their vodka, and all this stuff. That doesn't sound like a powerful army to me. Especially with that, what is it? What's that group? The Wagner group. There's supposed to be a bunch of, criminals running around doing all these atrocities. Come on, bro. That's your army. That's your powerful army. Yeah, I know F-16 is old technology. I get it, bro. But if that's your argument for Russia being the best army in the world. Yeah, we're not giving them top of the line fighters. We're not even giving them the F-18. We're giving them F-16s for the at least so they can knock out some stuff. It's better than nothing. Right now, Ukraine has no air force. Basically, right now, Ukraine has no air force. So the fact that they're getting F-16s and all this stuff, that's a drop in the bucket. You know. Yeah, but remember when you set up your S-400 SAM missile, you got to protect it. And Ukraine is flying drones. They're flying drones, taking shit out all the time. It's like every counter argument you try to throw is pointless. It's not up to Russia about NATO. It's not going to be up to Russia. That's my point. It's not going to be up to Russia. That ship sailed. When he went in there and said, no, that's it. He crossed that line. That's it. Now, Russia they just had the conference a couple of days ago. They had Zelensky in D.C. and they were already talking about it. They're the future member of NATO. Russia can't stop them. So, yeah, exactly. I'm gonna say Manichi or whatever. Yeah, Manichi. It's gonna have to be like an armistice. Because Zelensky wants complete withdrawal. Putin is not gonna do that either. So he's gonna have to say, you know what? It might be like you said, a buffer zone. But there's not gonna be complete victory from Russia. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. It's never gonna be complete victory. Exactly. And yeah, of course, we are tired of supplying. You know what? Because Putin wants a way out. He does. He just that. I don't know. Anyway, we'll see what happens with November. But this is not sustainable for both sides. It's not sustainable. They have more industry, but they're blowing money like crazy. You don't understand the logic. They're blowing money like crazy in an endless war. That's my point. It's a war that they're not going to win. They're never going to win this war. And even if they win, at what cost? You willing to lose a million soldiers? 500,000? What's the number? What's the number of dead Russians that you're willing to put for a country like Ukraine? Even if they want to join NATO. I mean, Poland is already part of NATO. Finland is a part of NATO. It's not up to one man in Russia. Like, it's not like your argument is everything about army. It's not only about army. That's my point. It's not about the army. Like, you sound like a Soviet propagandist or something. Yeah, a million dead soldiers is also a million dead soldiers. Exactly. What's the price to Mark my word. Okay, your word is bond. There we go. Russia will defeat Ukraine. Okay, well, you know what? Even if they, even if say, even if NATO says okay, even if NATO says okay, we don't want to give you any more money. I'm gonna paint your picture in the world. Here we go. I'm gonna paint your picture in the world. Here's my paintbrush. Even if NATO were to say one day, okay, we're not gonna give you no, because they already signed a 10-year contract. It's a 10-year contract, so it's a 10-year commitment now. It's already 10 years now. They commit 10 years. So that means Russia better be able to fight for 10 more years. Remember what you guys remember what they stepped in now. It's 2 years in, and they don't just sign an agreement for 10 years. Okay? I'm throwing a number at you. 10 years. So we're talking about, is Russia willing to fight for is Russia willing to fight for 10 more years? That's what's going to happen because NATO already said 10 years, 10-year commitment. And this is without the U.S. help. You know? Yeah. He's not even, yeah. I mean, of course they were supposed to lose land to the greatest army in the world, but they didn't take over the whole country yet. They're still almost back where they started from, that region of Ukraine. Okay, the Donbas region, whatever, that whole fucking region on the eastern part of Ukraine. That's always been Russian, whatever. It hasn't changed much. It was actually bad in the beginning. Exactly. Russia's just going to cause World War III. That's what's going to happen eventually. You know? Because say, I'm going to paint the picture again. NATO pulls out, NATO says, okay, we're not going to give them no more money. But now that is not going to happen because they already committed for 10 years. So now we have to wait 10 years before NATO says, you know what, we're not going to give you any more money. By then, we're talking about now 10 plus 2, right? 12 years went by. Again, your argument is about the F-16. It doesn't matter. We could give them freaking, whatever. I don't know, F-4 Phantoms, which we don't even have a stockpile no more. They're in a boneyard somewhere. That's not the point. The point is that Russia's going to fight a war. You act like nobody dies in Russia. You act like nobody gets killed in Russia. You know? Like, your argument makes no sense. Like, you just want, what, you think people are expendable? You know? Y'all don't understand your argument about F-16. It's not even about the F-16. It's about you're fighting endless war. It's an endless war. For what, Ukraine? Is it worth it? Is it worth it to lose another 500,000? I don't know what the number is right now. Unofficially, we don't know the number, how many Russians got killed. We don't know the official number. We may never know the official number. You know? My point is, at what expense is it worth it? And it's not going to be worth it. It's not going to be worth it. Even if we were to say, oh, you know what, you can have Ukraine here. And they'll go into Ukraine, they'll take Ukraine. And what's the next step? They're going to go to Poland. And if they go to Poland, it's going to be World War III. Because he's not going to stop. He's not going to stop at Ukraine. Once you give him Ukraine, he's not going to stop at there. You know? I mean, common sense will tell you that it's not going to stop with Ukraine. He had to flex because Ukraine was going to go with NATO. They're going to go. They're going to go. As soon as this conflict is over, they're going to be a part of NATO. And that's it. It's not up to him if they want to be neutral. They want to be part of NATO. If Ukraine wants to be a part of NATO, who the fuck is Russia to tell? Who the fuck is Russia to tell another country you can't be a part of this? Who the fuck are they? You know? Come on, bro. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. You know, this no, you make no sense. You know, it's like Cuba. Cuba is a satellite country of Russia. But what happened with the Cold War? As soon as the Cold War happened, Cuba really went downhill economically. They really went down, especially with, I mean, they still got the embargo on them, and it really went downhill. They were happy to see those ships the other day. They were only 60,000. Only 60. That's 60,000. 60,000. United States did not lose 60,000 in 20 years in Afghanistan and Iraq combined. We did not lose 60,000. So you already lost 60,000 in 2 years. If that's the number, if that's the official number, 60,000. That's a lot. That's a lot of bodies. So your argument is weak. They're not the greatest army. How can you lose 60,000 in 2 years? In 2 years. So let's say, okay, oh, here we go. Let's just, it's so simple math. 10-year commitment now that NATO is going to give to Ukraine. So let's multiply that. What? So 60,000 divided by 2 is what? 30,000. So 30,000 a year. So 30,000 a year times 12 is going to be 360,000. So in 12 years, Russia is willing to lose about almost 400,000 soldiers if it keeps going at the current rate that is going, that you guys are getting killed. When I mean you guys talking about Russia, they're getting killed. So we're talking about 400,000 people maybe are going to be killed by the time this NATO commitment is over. That's fucking stupid. That's stupid. That's a stupid argument. So almost 500,000 Russians going to die in a 10-year war, 12-year war, whatever the fuck is going to wind up being. Or worse, it can go for 20 years. When the United States, and every life is precious, don't get me wrong, we didn't lose 60,000 people in 20 years. Okay, the war on terror, the United States did not lose. No, Stephen, NATO has not. France is. There's a lot of. Now you're crazy. Okay, the British have a lot of good weaponry. French is a weapon exporter around the world. Okay, the French, the German also has. You know, you make no sense. Yes, they are trying to take over Ukraine. There's no other way of putting it. Yeah, I know, James. Hello, Mike Catman. Welcome to the chat. I hope you're doing well. If we don't explain what's happening in this country, yeah, there's going to be a civil war. That's another thing. And it'll probably happen. It'll be a civil war before World War III. You know? Right now, today, it's like one of those days. It's just we became a third world country, unfortunately, because of this divisiveness. It's crazy. You know, next thing will be smoke. Yeah, exactly, Mike. We just came within a half an inch of a civil war. I know. I don't know what you got to get the F-16. F-16 was a great plane. It was a great F-16 was a great fighter plane. It was a fighter jet. It was great. A lot of third world countries use them. A lot of third world countries still use them. So, you know, it doesn't matter if you have a connection with Russia now. It's just, you know, you sound like a Soviet propagandist or something. I have, to me, I have no respect for Russian army. I'm sorry. Maybe in World War II. In World War II, yeah, they really when they did their job. But Afghanistan proved, because that was their Vietnam War. That was their Vietnam War. Okay, their Vietnam War was Afghanistan in 1980 when they went into Kabul, and they lost a lot of Russians. A lot of Russians died in the war. What that war lasted 20 years, about 20 years or 15 years or something. I forgot how long. And they had to withdraw. They left out of there with their tail between their legs. Even when they invaded Afghanistan, the Russians, they couldn't control the whole country. So, and we went through the same thing. The United States went through the same thing. And that's what I keep saying. It's not about being the most powerful army in the world, because if the country you're fighting is not gonna surrender, then you better what price how much of a price are you willing to pay for that country? It happened to us. It happened to us. It happened to us. It happened to us with Vietnam. It happened to us when we went to Iraq. It was a mistake. When we went to Iraq, it was a mistake. I ain't joking about it. Saddam had that country in check. He had that country in check. And look where that country is now. It's a mess. That country is a mess now. It's a mess. It's a mess. Afghanistan, that's another whole issue with Afghanistan, because Afghanistan always been like that. Stone Age, whatever you want to call it. Not Russia, not United States couldn't change Afghanistan. They couldn't. They couldn't. You see what I'm saying? So, and this is what happens. It's part of history. It's gonna repeat itself because they don't learn from it. They don't learn from it. So what if Ukraine would have joined NATO? It's not like we're gonna invade Russia. It's not that. That's. But what he did a stupid move. He went into Ukraine, and now he's paying for it. He's paying for it. Yeah, they should have 600,000 casualties. I'm sorry, because they're not equipped. But it doesn't matter. They have to defend their country. 600,000, and a lot of it's going to be civilians. A lot of that is civilians. Okay, so 600,000, but a lot of it is civilians too. So it's not like Ukraine is bombing Moscow, Yeah, like the brothers on Russia, exactly. And NATO Europe is now weak and feeble. There are some countries that they're not doing their part, but they made the right choice. They said, no, I'd rather join NATO, and at least they can have their bases here. Because listen, NATO is not only about army. You understand? It's like strategic locations. Any NATO country, guess what that means? That means we can use their airspace. We can use their airspace to strike at anybody. So, for example, Greece. Greece is not a big army, but we can use their airspace. We have a base. We have base in Greece. If we need to hit Russia or whatever, or anybody in the Middle East, boom, from Greece, boom, we're there. You see, it's a world map type thing, a strategic thing. That's why what happened with Afghanistan when we lost that base, it was only 400 miles away from China. Whatever it was, 400 miles. I think it was 400 miles, and we lost that base. That would have been a strategic base to have. That if something would have went down with China, we could have had our planes right there at that base, Bagram. And we lost that because of this fucking buffoon in the White House. All right. So it's a word player thing. You know, because Ukraine is going to go to NATO. They're not going to be able to stop that. If they fully invade them, then they better be prepared to uh what you call it, deal with the consequences for the next 20 years. Because there's going to be a lot of dead bodies there on both sides. You know, it's like how much of a price are they willing to pay? And that's the problem. That in this country we have 4 years. We have election every 4 years. If we don't agree with policy and all that, we got to check. We got a right to vote them out and all that. In Russia, is his way or the highway. That's it. Is his way or the highway. In other words, there's nothing you can do. And they're gonna be stuck in Ukraine for years. They're gonna be stuck in Ukraine for years, and there's gonna be a lot of bodies. There's already a lot of bodies. You know. I don't know why you keep going back to the F-16. I don't understand your and the only reason why they're getting F-16 because they need to train them for that. And that's the plane that a lot of NATO countries, a lot of like for example Poland. I think Poland had a few of them. They gave it to them. That's why that's the plane that they use in. So I think a couple of smaller air forces still use the F-16. We had the F-16 in the reserve for a few years until maybe finally about 15, 20 years ago, finally it retired. So it's considered now, not even a reserve plane. So yeah, France is not weak. It's not weak. They're not weak militarily. It's not that. You understand? NATO is a different. It's a coalition. It's like for example, it's like even when the Soviet Union was around, they had the Warsaw Pact, right? They had the Warsaw Pact. You had Czechoslovakia at the time, East Germany. But that dissolved. And it was whose fault? It was Russia's fault. When that dissolved, it was Russia's fault. So Russia couldn't even keep a coalition together. When you go back to the Russian army thing, it doesn't matter about the Russian army thing. They couldn't even keep the Warsaw Pact in check or coalition together to this day. It dissolved. And now some of those countries are what? They're part of NATO now. So, he's trying. See, Putin is trying to bring back the old Soviet Union. But it's never going to happen now. It's a different time now. The biggest thing now is the internet. Information is all over the place now. Okay? It's so much information out there now. When we wanted to when we want any news about Russia, we had to go on Shortwave and hear their version of it. And we also had to hear a few other stations. Now it's like, social media is there and all that. So it's a different time now. You're not going to be able to hold that power that it dissolved for a reason because it didn't work. Okay? Communism dissolved because it wasn't a good system. It didn't work. That's why it dissolved. And he's trying to bring that glory back because he's a fucking nut job. That's why he's, and of course, anybody that opposes him, they wind up getting a fucking plutonium fucking pill in their system or something. It doesn't matter whether they permit it or not. It's going to happen. Especially after this happened, after this war, you better believe it's going to happen. They already announced it. They're going to be a future member of NATO. It's going to happen. Unless tomorrow morning they absolutely invade the whole country and total control of the country, but it hasn't happened in 2 years. That's my point. If it hasn't happened in 2 years, what do you think is going to happen tomorrow or next week or the week after? It's not going to happen. I don't know why you keep beating it in the head about that. They're a great army and they're not going to. Exactly. They're only doing it because because this buffoon is in power right now. You know, they're taking advantage of it. Exactly, exactly. They're taking advantage of a geriatric president. They would have never done that on the Trump. They would have never done that shit. They would have never went into there. Because he would have told him, "What the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? Like, are you trying to show me up? What are you doing? What's wrong with you? You know?" Yeah, but it doesn't matter if the countries are big. They're not big. You don't get the whole NATO thing. You don't get it. It's not a numbers thing, bro. You don't get it. It's a coalition thing. Like who Russia has as coalition. Like your argument is like you're like the most anti-NATO, pro-Russian. Uh, what is wrong with you? You cannot be an American. There's no way. And if you are, then you're conflicted, bro. You're conflicted. You know, the reason NATO was formed because of World War II. Okay, that's where it stemmed from, World War II. It started because of World War II, and then after that, it was also because of the Soviet Union. Because of course we helped rebuild Germany and Japan and all that. Meanwhile, Russia said, "No, fuck it. We're gonna every country we went into, we're keeping it." And Eisenhower saw that. Truman saw that. That's why they never trusted Stalin. They never trusted him. They never trusted Stalin because they knew that the minute they were gonna go in there, they were never gonna leave. They're not gonna rebuild the country. They're gonna fucking take over the country. Let me go back up here. Russia lost 27 million wars. Exactly, and they still won. Yeah, 27 million. But remember, they got invaded too. They had to. They got invaded. Remember, they didn't just they were provoked. They got invaded. Remember, Nazi Germany was only not far. Not they almost made it to the capital, and of course, the tide changed, and that's a whole other subject. I don't want to get into that, but and at that time they were the most powerful army in the world. Remember that, and they made a blunder. That was a big blunder. He stretched out too thin. That's history. He stretched his army out, and I'm talking about Nazi Germany. They stretched their army out too thin. He went too fast. He thought, we're talking about a crazy fellow, and it backfired. And then that was the beginning of the end. That was the biggest mistake he did. Well, more than one, but and that's the same thing that's going to happen. It's not about being a weak military. It's not about that. You underestimate France. France is a big weapons exporter. Aerospace also. Aerospace, Airbus is a big company. Boeing's top competitor is Airbus. Or should I say the opposite? Airbus top competitor is Boeing. And Airbus makes a lot of okay, so it's not about being weak and all that. The Dassault is the Mirage jet, and the what's the other one? That's not no weak fucking plane. Sorry, the Exocet missile is not a fucking cheap anti-ship missile. Okay, French make all that stuff. They export that all over the world. The Ariane rocket that launches satellites into space is made in France. So they also play in many aerospace. France is a big player in aerospace. So don't get it twisted, bro. I know my weaponry, bro. Dassault and like I said, the Ariane rocket is forget about space. The Ariane rocket has been around for many years. Okay, so the French are not weak. uh, wine drinking people. There's very technology. There's a lot of technology behind. Airbus is a big company. Airbus makes a. I'm gonna say I think Airbus right now is ahead of Boeing in commercial aircraft, because Boeing having problems now. Boeing having a lot of problems, and I think Airbus is the top commercial aircraft company in the world right now. Is Airbus. Boeing is second right now. I can say that. Okay, I'm American. I love Boeing, but Airbus, that's a French company. Number one, number one, Airbus. Where's my Airbus? I got an Airbus right here for you, bro. There you go, Airbus, with the classic tips and the classic. There you go. A320 right here. This is the 747 equivalent. So when you say Airbus is weak, I mean, when you say French is weak, that's just railroad. Railroad. Yeah, 380. I'm sorry, I said 3. Yeah, 380. Thank you for correcting me. 380. A380. Thank you. Um, no, I mean, there's some innovations. The fact that they use carbon fiber. Remember, it uses carbon fiber on some of the structure. Okay, more fuel efficient. Can fly longer than the 747 is a great. Don't get me wrong, 747 is a great aircraft. Seven right here, 747. 747. 747. But this is and they had their problems too. Don't get me wrong, they had their problems, but carbon fiber, that's a big innovation. Carbon fiber on, you know, so that means the aircraft is lighter, it's more fuel efficient. You know, so when you say French, you're not giving credit where credit is due. See, you're just talking about the army. The army. It's not about army. It's a lot. You understand? When you have a coalition where Airbus can make transport aircraft, uh, United States can make the tanks. Uh, Even Germany, they have their Leopold tank, Leopold, right? Leopold, whatever. You have a coalition, and you're going against Russia, one country. That's why he's in panic mode. It's a whole coalition thing. China's, listen. You know who's catching up more? China's actually doing more because they have their own space station up there. They have a thing in the moon. The what's that little? It's like a lander rover thing they have in the moon. I fear China more than I would do Russia. Okay, if I had to fear any country, it's China more. Okay, because China's getting into the rail industry. We have subway cars in Boston. We have subway cars in Boston now, built by China. I believe even St. Louis or somewhere. I forgot. You know, uh, before it was Japan. Japan used to make a lot of subway cars here. I work for Kawasaki. I used to work for Kawasaki. Japan makes a lot of subway cars here. French also makes. Oh, by the way, French also makes a lot of great trains. Railroad, high speed trains, high speed trains. France. Okay, France. Alstom is from Canada. Of Quebec, French. Okay, I know Alstom well. Bombardier is French, Canadian. Bombardier. They make the. They also make the Learjet business jets. French. No, when you say French is, you act like French doesn't do anything. You know. Every country has a lot of great. They have great companies. It's great. There's a lot of great companies all over the world, and that's when you build a coalition, you're using like the Eurofighter. The Eurofighter is actually the Eurofighter, right? Is what a multinational, like you said, multinational. Eurofighter is that. Is what is it? France, Germany, and Britain. You know, but that's not the only plane they make. The Mirage. There's the other one. I forgot what the other one is called. You know. You just grasping at straws right now. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Mike. It's a French, but it's primarily French. You know, and the point is that yeah, but it's primarily French. Yeah, but France doesn't make a 6,000 mile antenna. Yeah, no, that's China. That's China. No, Boeing is a great company. Boeing is a great company. Don't get me wrong. It's just that what they're having their problems now. Especially that what is it, the 737 Max, whatever it is, which is the one that's having the issues. So, my camp, their headquarters is in Toulouse, France. Okay, Toulouse. It's just the thing is, it's not the end all be all that Russia's the greatest army in the world. It's not the greatest army in the world. Come on. And it goes back to the whole thing. It doesn't take an army. It doesn't take an army to be. You gotta understand. You gotta win the people over. Okay. You have to win. This is gonna be. This is a bloody war already. 2 years is a bloody war. I think it was a great tank. Tiger tank. Yeah, it was a great tank. Unfortunately, what happened? Uh, they didn't make enough of them. It was already later in the war, and of course, by then we had so many Sherman tanks, and we found the weakness. But once you find the weakness, remember we had the bazooka. That was one of the anti-tank weapons we had. One of the first anti, I think it might be the bazooka that was an anti-tank weapon. But remember, we had the Sherman. Was it Sherman tank? I don't have one here. I wish I could show you. I don't have one here. And even though it was a smaller tank, it was a lighter tank. We move fast. We move fast. And what happened is, since we destroyed their ability to make as many as they can, they didn't have enough of them. They didn't have. But remember, you gotta remember when you have a tank crew, you gotta train the crew. You gotta train the. No, he's talking about the World War II and the Tiger. He's talking about Tiger. When he said Tiger, I know he's talking about World War II. The Leopard is the one now. It's on the modern tank. Modern German tank is a Leopard, and yeah, the Leopard tank. Oh, he's talking about when he said Tiger. I'm thinking about World War II. No, I thought Tiger was a great tank. It was a. I don't have one here. The only model I have is this tank destroyer, the Yag Panther, whatever how you pronounce it, Yag Panther. But this is a tiger. This is a tank destroyer. This is something else. But no, it was a great tank. It was a very formidable tank. But unfortunately, it was too late into the war. They didn't have enough of them to, to hold off the liberation of Europe. You know, so. Because the point is, it takes more than an army to beat a nation, another country. We learned that. It happened many times in history that happened. It happened to Napoleon. Remember, Napoleon had the best. The French army was the biggest army, the most feared. And what happened to them? He went too far. Same thing with Rome. Same thing with the Romans, right? The Roman Empire. Remember the Roman Empire? The Roman Empire. And what happened? Eventually, it collapsed because they went too far. They went too far. They went all the way out to England. They went all the way out to England, all the way up there, and that's what happened when you invade other countries over time. You have an empire, and then it's gonna. Remember, once you invade that country, remember that's another thing. Russia takes over Ukraine. You own that country now. Now you got to take care of it. Now you got to spend money. When you invade a country, now you own it. You own it. You own it. You own it. Like when we went into Iraq, when the coalition went into Iraq, we own it. We had to fix that country now. In today's world, you own that country. If you invade that country, you're gonna build you better build that country. In other words, it's gonna cost you money, a lot of money. Money that's gonna come out of the citizens of Russia. So, they're not in a position to be. I know you said they're the biggest, whatever economy. That's not the point. The point is everything costs money. Everything costs money. 20 years in Iraq and Afghanistan, the whole thing. You know how many trillions of dollars was spent? That's added to the deficit. Okay? Yeah, exactly. Well, it's German, Italian, Spanish. Okay, so it's a coalition. It's still a coalition. So you got the best minds out of those countries, and they made a formidable plane, formidable fighter aircraft. That's what I'm talking about. NATO. See, NATO. That's what NATO does. They have a coalition, and we have that. It's not all on United States to. United States is not the world's policeman. We have a coalition. Canada also is part of NATO. Britain, United Kingdom, Italy, France. We have other countries. We have smaller countries. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even know they knew the concept of carbon fiber, but it doesn't matter. It's just yeah, I think it's mostly maintenance related aside the max issue. Yeah, where the computer was at fault. Yeah, it is kind of scary though. Yeah, I know. Yeah, same thing with I know the Airbus, they had issues too. They had orders canceled and all that because they had issues with the I know it was with the computer. They had issues with that too. That's the problem. The more you rely on the computer, because it gets to the point where, for example, today's planes like this, like you need to rely more on computers because anything can go wrong. There's a channel that I don't know if there's a channel, I forgot what it's called. It's He does everything on a Microsoft Flight Sim. He recreates disasters. He's a Filipino guy. I forgot his channel name. I haven't seen it in a year or so. It's air disasters or something, and he recreates all the air disasters. And a lot of them, you'd be surprised, is pilot error. Most of them are pilot error. There was one that it was a Russian airliner, and the stupid pilot let the kid put him in the controls. And the Russian pilot thought that the plane was an autopilot. And the kid actually disengaged the autopilot. He didn't even know. And the thing went into a steep nosedive. And they couldn't bring it up in time. And it hit the side of a mountain and they all died. And this was a stupid. This is because the pilot, the Russian pilot, brought his son and I think his daughter or something. Oh, look, son, go take over the control. Oh, don't worry, it's not an autopilot. So the son is messing around with the wheel, and the thing went into a steep nosedive. And they didn't realize they didn't realize it in time, and they couldn't bring it back up, and it hit the side of a mountain. They all died. And a lot of this stuff happened because of pilot error. A lot of it's pilot error. You know, it's scary. You saw that one? Yeah. I'm trying to remember his channel, but he does a lot of that recreation. This guy is very good. It's right there, the radio. Yeah. Hey, hello, Richard, California. Good to see you. Yeah, my components are built in those. And read the rest of it. Our final assembly tested in same thing in the railroad industry. I worked in the Kawasaki, subway cars, commuter cars, and all that. The main body is built in Japan, right? Initial main body is built in Japan. No, actually, the parts are built in Japan. The main body and things like that. Then in Lincoln, Nebraska, they assemble the body. They assemble the body. I'm going to give you an example. They assemble the body. Then it comes to Yonkers. Right here. We do the final assembly of the truck and all the electronic components inside and the seats and all that. We do that here in Yonkers. Right? But some of the subcomponents are made from other companies. And some other companies are in other countries. Like the propulsion system on that train, I think they make them in if I remember correctly, I'm trying to think. No, it's made also in Kawasaki. There's some components, like for example, the air conditioning, some other thing, is actually a company from Spain. Company from Spain actually is in charge of all the air conditioning on that train. So you got sub assemblies that are made from other countries. They're responsible for that. That's it. We have contracts with other. When I say we, I'm talking about Kawasaki. Kawasaki has contracts with other companies all over the world. And I know the Spanish company. They make a lot of the air conditioning, HVAC stuff. That's Spain, a Spanish company that makes that. There's something else that I think German company like Siemens. Siemens, they make a lot of the computer, the onboard computer of the train. A lot of it is Siemens. Some of it is Siemens. Siemens is German. Siemens make a lot of stuff. So if you're gonna bash Germany, I'm sorry, Siemens is a great company. Siemens. They make a lot. They even make trains. They make their own trains. Siemens, and they make. I think they're also in aerospace too. Siemens. So healthcare equipment, Siemens. A lot of equipment you see in hospitals is made by Siemens. Okay, so you have this multinational, multinational, or should I say, the train that's like, so in aerospace is going to be the same thing. A lot of companies, some companies are from, like I said, as an example, that company's from Spain that makes the HVAC for that particular train. Siemens, actually, the propulsion is also Siemens. The propulsion, the motor, the electric motor on the train is Siemens, and things like that. They just, so it's like that in every industry, in aircraft, in aerospace, like that too. Not everything is from one company. They have other. Okay, it's not one company makes everything. Not one company makes everything on that. On, for example, this plane or that plane. Not one company makes everything here. They actually had to, the engines. For example, not this engine. I'm trying to remember what engines. You're gonna tell me what engine. For example, GE makes the engines. General Electric actually makes the engines, not Boeing. General Electric makes the engine. Rolls Royce makes engines. Okay, Rolls Royce makes engines. General Electric makes engines. You see what I'm saying? Different companies, different nations. You know, 747, right? But I believe it's GE, General Electric. I believe. I, I, I cannot keep every piece of data in my head. I'm getting old. But General Electric is a big engine maker. It's a big engine maker. Huge engine maker. They make freight trains. General Electric makes a lot of stuff. I know we talk about the super radio. I don't have it here. The G super radio. They used to make great AM FM radios. They still make a lot of great stuff. They make freight cars for the trains. Cargo trains and all that. They make jet engines. They make Kawasaki makes tunnel boring machines. Tunnel boring machines, those big machines that break through rock and they make tunnels. Kawasaki makes that. Kawasaki makes motorcycles. Kawasaki is Japan. You don't say Japan is a small country. Japan got a small army. No, it's not about that. Japan makes everything. Japan makes a lot of stuff. Rail cars. They make a lot. They make a lot. You can't estimate a country because of the size of their country. But the Eurofighter has no stealth ability. It's not the point, bro. He's not made for stealth. He's not made for stealth. Dogfights are not outdated concept. If a plane can, basically, if a plane can spot you and lock you on, even from 2, 3 miles away, whatever it is, and hit you, they can hit you. That's it. They can hit you without you ever seen them. Richard Califano also almost bought a CB radio today, but probably not a good idea. I mean, that's on you. I don't know. I can't. I'm not gonna tell you if you buy one. I bought one years ago. I don't use it all the time, but I have it there in case I need it. Especially when hopefully I never need it for an emergency, but it's there. It's at my disposal if I ever need it. James Foley, Danny, this is the sound on that new SDR. It's not an SDR radio. You talking about the? I don't have it right here. The TEF 6686. It's not an SDR. It's just a radio. It's just a display. It looks. It's not an SDR because it doesn't have a waterfall. So it's not an SDR. The sound on it is okay. It's not the best sound. It's okay. Not the best sound. builds no fifth generation jets. Doesn't matter. Not every country, not every country in that coalition needs to build latest and greatest. You know, if you look at NATO, overall, despite of what Trump says about the whole thing about the paying their fair share, yeah, that's fine, but it's also coalition. You know, Poland is not gonna have. We're not gonna expect Poland to have a top-notch fighter plane. No, we're gonna send ours. You see what I'm saying? We may use Poland as a staging area to fly into Russia if we have to. Yeah, we're gonna be right there in Poland. Our planes are gonna be right there. That's why we have the coalition. So Poland is gonna be like, okay, we can use our base to strike. You see what I'm saying? It's not about, oh, the United States is going to depend on Poland to defend us. No, that's not the way it works. That's not the way it works. You know, we're going to use, when I should say we, the coalition is going to say, okay, strategically, we need to strike Russia close. That's a NATO country. They're going to go to Poland. We're going to stage in Poland because Poland's right there. Or, you know, Moldova, whatever. You see what I'm saying? That's part of the coalition. If we didn't have that coalition, they could say, no, we're not going to, you can't be here. No. Now we're talking about, you see, now we have to fly further out. That's why we had that coalition. Same thing like what happened in Libya, in you know, when Reagan, you know, with Libya with the whole line of death. We took off from Italy, right across the Mediterranean, boom, and came back to Italy or Greece. One of those bases, I forgot, Helicon Air Force Base, Air Base Helicon from Greece, or you know what I mean, right there, boom, 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 boom. We had the coalition. That's the purpose of the coalition. We didn't ask Greece, can you go to Libya and take care of it? Greece has no air force to do that. But yeah, you can use our base to go to Libya. That's the coalition working together. And not only use their base, now you know they have the fuel, they have all this crew there that's gonna, and we could strike into Libya. Boom, right there. That's all we have to do. Boom, go back to the Mediterranean. That's it. We're done. We're not flying across the United States all the way to Libya. That's the purpose of the coalition. Yeah, I know the F-16 is decommissioned in the United States. When I was in the reserve, the F-16 was already being phased out. This is over 30 years ago. F-16 was a National Guard plane until maybe it got retired about a long while. It's been a while since they got retired. That's not the point. The point is that other countries still use it for whatever, you know. Israel still uses it to bomb Gaza. It works for them. They don't have to. Israel does not have to send their top of the line planes in there. They could send the F-16 to take care of a few of these terrorists. That's the point. It's still a serviceable aircraft for whatever application. You know, when you make a blanket statement like that, you make no sense. Every aircraft, even if it's older, depending on the application, it's still very lethal. Because there's no counter. What Gaza has. What they have in Gaza that's going to counter the F-16? Nothing. So the F-16, Israel has F-16s. It works fine for them. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. The A-10 Gulf War. A-10. That's a tank, anti-personnel, anti-tank. It's slow. It's heavily armored, but for what the job that it does it very well. It does it very well. So what happened in Iraq what happened in Iraq when they call it what they call that when the highway of death? I remember that. Who you think? Who you think? Who you think was responsible for the highway of death? A lot of it was A-10 or Apaches. Apaches or A-10 took care of them because they were lined up there all bottleneck on the road, and A-10 just went in there, brrr, brrr, kid in a candy store. A-10 kid in a candy store because they dominated the sky. There was no Iraqi Air Force in the sky. They were all grounded. Whatever Iraqi Air Force was there was non-existent. So the A-10 pick. Brr, brr, even the let's send in the Apaches. Brr, 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 that's it. Bye-bye. That was it. The A-10. Yeah, I know the A-10, the order. Yeah, the Fairchild A-10. I don't have a model. My brother has a model of that. The A-10. That's a attack plane. So that's the job. That's the job that was meant for. He's not to get into a dogfight. Again, you don't understand what you're talking about, Stephen. A-10 is also outdated. No, it's not outdated. It's still a very serviceable aircraft for the job that it does. And right now, you just upset. You're talking with your feelings, and you're trying to win an argument that you're not going to win. Yep. Bullets like this big. The rounds is like this big on that Gatling. Brrr, it's like this big, man. Come on, bro. That thing. Yeah, you said the gun on that aircraft make people disappear. Exactly. You don't know what you're talking about, bro. A-10 is not outdated. It's also outdated. It's not outdated. It did very well in Iraq. It did very well in Afghanistan, and it's going to do very well. If Ukraine had the A-10, say goodbye to all your tanks. If Ukraine had the A-10, and man, if the A-10 would be flying over Ukraine with all those tanks lined up like that, like sitting ducks, brrr, brrr, bye-bye, brrr, brrr. You know what he's talking about. The great army of Russia would be, there'd be no tanks on the road. They'd be all disappeared. Hellfire missile, bye-bye. Hellfire missile, even a tow missile would take, even if they had tow missiles, would take care of that. Yeah, but what? Imagine if Ukraine is taking out tanks with drones. Ukraine is taking out tanks with drones. They have a drone flying over and they drop a bomb on the tank. And that's it. If they're doing that, imagine what an A-10 will do to that. Again, everything is obsolete. Obsolete. That's your argument, bro. That's your counter argument. Everything is obsolete, outdated, right? I'm outdated too. Hello, Elmerton. I hope you're doing well. Yeah. What shortwave should I get? I don't know. Depends on what you want to hear. I like that Qdosin DX286, but that doesn't have single sideband. But I love that radio. It's a great radio. All around shortwave radio, portable, SHZ D808. That's the one I would say. If you want to get one radio for shortwave that does everything on shortwave, including single sideband, I would just get the SHZ D808. And it's on sale right now, actually. I think it's, if you go to SHZ, I believe it's $65. It's on sale. Normally it's close to $100, but I think it's on sale for about $65 or so. Richard Califano, where do you get those models? I used to be a guard for UPS, and it was so neat sitting on the flight deck of the 757. Well, these planes, I got these from AliExpress, from Temu. These are die-cast metal. Most of them are around $10, $11 around there. So I have like the FedEx. This is the Airbus A380. This is a UPS 747. I'm just collecting different because I have a diecast collection channel that I started a few months ago. So I'm starting to collect these. So this is a 747. This one is a 757 DHL 757. Okay, yeah, 757. Excuse me. And then I have the 777. This is of course American Airlines 777. So you know, I'm collecting them. I just buy them. I collect them. I like collecting stuff like this. And these are like $10 on AliExpress, or Temu or AliExpress. Okay. Now these come with the stand. There's no landing gear. They have other ones with landing gear, but they're more expensive. My nose is itching now. So like there's a company called Gemini. They make they're more detailed. They have the landing gear and all that. Some people collect it, but I didn't want to spend all that. I didn't want to spend more money for that. I like it on the stand, and that's it. So I have that channel, Danny Diecast Collection. I post stuff there. I also have like tanks. I also have like Matchbox, Hot Wheels, and all that. I have tanks too. Like this is a Korean War, late Korean War, excuse me, Vietnam War tank here. Yeah, I have a shortwave radio store. I have a radio store out there. See, you can go through there. You know. Yeah. So if you go through there, SH data, but the SH data is on sale. The other way is on sale. I know. It's on sale. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's been a while. The F-16 has been retired for a while. But when I was in the reserve, it was already in the Air National Guard. And once the plane makes it to the Air National Guard, that means it's about to retire. Because remember, the F-15 Eagle was their top. When I was there, the F-15 was the top. We're talking about 30 years ago. Same thing with the Navy. When I was there, the F-14 was the top. Was the top. And then the F-18 took over that one. And then in the F-15, it was F-35, I believe, or I forgot which one. So there's always a. So when I was there, the F-16 was already on reserve duty, or Air National Guard duty. It was already being, because what happens is they go from the first line. First line means your top. What do they call it? I call it first line because I used to play simulators like combat simulators and all that. So I know first line means top of the line weaponry. Then you got second line defense. That means mediocre. Third line defense is obsolete, old equipment, and all that. So when it makes it to second, that's usually in the reserves already, Air National Guard or Air Force Reserve, that type of thing. So the F-16 was already there when I got out. It was already Air National Guard. So and then shortly after that, it was gone. When I was there, the C-141 was still the transport plane because that's the one I worked on. The Starlift, the Star is a Starlifter, the C-141, and then now, of course, the C-17. So when I left, the C-17 were already being delivered, but there weren't that many. And then finally, C-141 retired. There's always a progression, you know. Again, it's not about of course, the A-10 has a huge, it's slow. It's not meant to, it's supposed to be ground support type aircraft. It's very slow, you know. Yeah, Richard. Yeah, exactly. C-130 still, all these years, still C-130 still around. Yeah, Richard California Air Guard still uses C-130 in Albany, New York. Exactly. But I know the C-141 is retired. They retired that one. When I was there, it was already being phased out. The C-17 was the what you call it. So yeah, but they're not gonna be. The A-10 is not for dogfighting. It's not gonna be for. It's just basically, you gotta remember when the A-10 is doing that work, there's always gonna be other stuff flying around. Yeah, other type of yeah. So yeah, yeah, exactly. Anyway, and it's not get rid of them. It's some of them wind up going to third world countries, other countries. Some of them get sold off. Some of them are, like for example, Israel still has a few F-16s. I don't know. I'm trying to remember a whole bunch of countries. There's some country that still have it. Just like India. India still has, Soviet era planes. Some in India still has that. Same thing with what other countries. So it's not like every country has top of the line, you know, fighter aircraft or whatever. No, some countries still, like Syria. I know Syria. I think they still had the F-30. Is it the? I mean, MiG-31. I saw on one MiG-25. I seen MiG-25s. You know, or MiG-27. Whatever. It's like they still, in other countries, some countries still, you know, it's like a hand me down. Is it a hand me down stuff? Even when what do you call it? Early in the war, in the Ukraine war, right? I think they were talking about some Russian tanks. They had to bring them out of retirement. I forgot which model. I don't know if it was a T-55 or it was an old model. It was like, wow. They had to bring back the. Of course, they're no match for anything now, but helmet time somewhere around here. I have a picture of me as a young buck posing next to a Warthog 30 millimeter Gatling gun. Yeah, you know. I know, right? Except when I see you have a Z, which that's what the Russians tank put us out of. My cap, not really, and they really have G. Yeah, I know they have turbofan. No afterburner. Yeah, they have no afterburner. Yeah, exactly. You're right because there's no afterburner, so the heat signature is not gonna be, you know. Yeah, Russia's killing tank also with drones. Yeah, that's fine. But I mean, if the army's so great, they should have just went in there and took care of business. And that didn't happen, and it hasn't happened for 2 years. That's my point. No, the Russians not gonna would smoke all the A-10s. That's not gonna happen because first of all, you know, when usually you dominate the like what happened in Iraq. The coalition dominated the airspace first. Once you dominate the airspace, you can send in whatever you want to destroy tanks because there's nothing that's gonna counter that. Maybe a couple of SAM missiles, That's about it. Until they get taken out by some, somebody like the, you know, Apache or whatever, anything. So you're gonna first of all you're gonna dominate the sky, and then any ground vehicle that's rolling around there, they're gonna get easy pickings. It was a perfect model. The perfect blueprint model was when Gulf War, especially the first Gulf War. The ground offensive only lasted 48 hours. Forgot what it was. A month of bombing, whatever it was, and then 48 hours into the ground offensive. That's it. They had enough because there was nothing left. We dominated the sky. The coalition dominated the sky. When you dominate the sky, that's it. And Russia and Ukraine, they're close to dominating the sky, but they're not there yet. But now they're gonna, because unfortunately for them, we could still take down Russian planes. So no, it's not about winning or losing. It's not about winning or losing, bro. It's not about that. You keep saying that they're gonna lose. It's not about losing. It's at what price is Russia willing to pay to keep staying there? You're not listening. You're not listening. That's a problem. You're not listening. You just like it's your argument and that's it. It's not about that. It's not about whether they're gonna win or lose. It's that they already blundered. If they didn't, and they were out the outskirts of Kiev early in the war, right? Early in the war, when they had all the momentum, they were on the outskirts of Kiev, and they couldn't finish the job. They couldn't go in there, and they were knocking on the door right there outside of Kiev, and they couldn't get it done. And then they lost all that territory, almost back to where they started. So that window of opportunity left. That's it. And now they have more support. More support. Yeah, if countries will stop sending them money, yeah, Russia can go in there and take it. But that's not going to happen now because now, who said that? Lindsey Graham said that. He said money well spent, right? And I'm not going to say the rest of it because I don't want to give. He said money well spent on, in other words, getting rid of killing them. That's what he basically said. I don't want to, say the whole thing verbatim. So, that's what happened. So that's what's going to happen. They had their window of opportunity, and they blundered it. Now they're trying to hold off to what they have now, like a stalemate right now. It's a stalemate right now, even though because now Ukraine is getting all this money now. They're getting all this money, and at least to put up a fight, and that's it. Now it's a stalemate. So they're not gonna win. They're not gonna win. They're not gonna win. And yeah, good night with T right in there. Yeah, I'm gonna sign off in a couple of minutes. And yeah, have a good weekend, 73. Monday I'll be heading off to Virginia and to the nation's capital for take my son to the Air and Space Museum in Virginia. We'll see all those beautiful aircraft there and the spaceships. I want to go see the B-29 bomber. I want to go see the B-2. That's the first plane I want to look for, the B-29. The Enola, no, not the Enola. Is it the Enola? Yeah, the Enola Gay. The one that dropped the bomb on Hiroshima. And the other one I want to see is the Lucky Lindy. The Spirit of St. Louis. The first man to cross the Atlantic Ocean. I want to see that plane too. That's one of the planes I always wanted to see. I want to take a picture next to it and I'll make a video on it. and I'm gonna post it on my air and space channel. That's gonna be my first video there. So looking forward to going there. Richard, California. I remember seeing the C-130 with JTO. Yeah, jet assisted air, takeoff. Yeah, yeah, JTO. Wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah. So anyway, thank you everybody for watching. I'm gonna sign off now. I am gonna relax and I'm gonna stay up and have a couple of beers. Listen to some radio, and I'll see you soon. Have a good rest of the weekend, and thank you for making this discussion very lively. And God bless our country, and be good to each other. Bye bye.